Welcome to another edition of Jules Voto's Photo Focus. Ever since the Nikon Z-mount mirrorless cameras were introduced in 2018, people were asking for both a Z-mount D850 replacement as well as a D500 replacement. The Z8, which was introduced in the spring of 2023, replaced and improved upon the D850, in my opinion. But what about a Z-mount D500 replacement? There have been many rumors, but still no high-end APS-C Nikon Z-mount camera. In my opinion, the Z8 has replaced both the D850 and the D500. When set for DX mode, the Z8 gives you a 19 megapixel DX camera with far superior frame rate and much improved autofocus over the 20 megapixel D500. Of course, the Z8 at introduction was double the price of the D500. I know that is a big issue for many people who shoot wildlife and sports who don't want to pay the price for a Z8. I hope that if Nikon does introduce the high-end APS-C Z-mount camera, that it's at least 30 megapixel with Z8 autofocus and frame rate, which would improve upon the equivalent 19 megapixels of the Z8 in DX mode. Now, in this video, we are going to see how the Z8 performs in DX mode with the Nikon 35mm 1.8 DX lens, which gives a 52.5 millimeter full frame field of view equivalent in DX mode. To better explain, a 35mm lens on a DX camera will give the same field of view as a 52.5mm lens on a full frame camera. When you mount a DX lens on a Nikon full frame camera, such as the Z8, the camera will automatically set DX image area. Just one other thing, I've been going back and forth between APS-C and DX. Nikon calls an APS-C camera DX, full frame camera FX. Okay, so let's look at the specs on the lens I used on the Z8 for the pictures you will see in this video. It's the Nikon DX AFS Nikkor 35mm 1.8G. Now the G means it has no aperture ring. It's an F-mount lens. It's 8 elements in 6 groups. It has a 7-blade aperture. The minimum focus is 11.8 inches or 30 centimeters. It weighs 7.05 ounces or 200 grams. It has internal focusing, which means the lens does not change size as you focus and the front filter mount does not turn as you focus. It also has Nikon Super Integrated Coating. It ships with the HB46 bayonet lens hood. Currently, the lens is on sale for $176.95. It normally sells for $196.95, and this lens was introduced in early 2009. Now here's an image I shot at the minimum focus distance, and it covers a subject 5.5 inches wide, so it gets you pretty close. This lens only has one switch on it to switch between manual and autofocus. The MA position will give you override of the autofocus, so you can turn the focus ring at any time. Of course, to use this lens on a Nikon mirrorless camera, the fact that it's an F-mount lens, you need the F to Z adapter shown here. And I use the original F to Z adapter. Of course, that adds to the weight of the combination. It adds 4.7 ounces or 133 grams. One other nice thing when using a DX lens or setting DX mode on a full frame Nikon mirrorless camera is that the DX area fills the viewfinder. And if you used it on a full frame DSLR, such as the D850 or D810, it masks the viewfinder. So the DX area shows up in the center and the rest of the frame is kind of grayed out. So it's nicer to use it on the mirrorless camera when you're in DX mode. Okay, so finally, let's look at some pictures that were shot again with this lens with the 35-1.8 on the Z8 in DX mode. So it was a beautiful day. I shot some images in my neighborhood of some beautiful trees. The quality is very good on this lens. It has a very good reputation. I remember when it first came out, I read some really good reviews of it. You know, for such an inexpensive lens that's fairly fast at 1.8, it does a really nice job. I saw no vignetting at any aperture. At this point, you might be asking, well, why would you use a DX lens on a full frame body? It's a very good question. I got this lens several years ago as part of a bundle. I had bought a bunch of stuff on eBay and I wanted the other items and this lens was included. It's in mint condition, so I figured let me try it out. I had never used it before. Now just remember, shooting in DX mode on a full frame camera would be the same thing as shooting with a full frame lens and then cropping later. Of course, it gives you a smaller file size. It's a 19 megapixel image as opposed to a 45 megapixel image if you shot full frame with the full frame lens. Okay, so here we are at 1.8. This is a close-up of the previous image, and you could see it gives you excellent sharpness at 1.8. Of course, it falls off as you go to the edges, and there's very limited depth of field at 1.8. But of course, that helps you isolate your subject. Now here's the cat, and this also was at 1.8, set for animal detection. And it focused right on her eye, and has good sharpness again. Okay, so here's my son at the kitchen table at 1.8. And I usually don't like to use a 50 millimeter or thereabouts lens for close-up people pictures, but I just wanted to see how sharp this lens was in that situation, and it worked out really good. It was set for people detection to focus on the eye, and it did so very accurately. And these were at 1600 ISO. And a DX camera, DX mode, is going to give you more noise than full frame mode. Now here we are at 1600 of my standard test setup, and this is at 1.8 at 1600, and you can see no vignetting. Look in the corners, there's no vignetting, and this was lit with 2 LED lights to give even lighting. Okay, now we go to 3200 ISO with no additional lighting. This was just the room lights, and here we are in close, and the noise is excellent. It really is. And here we are at 6400, and the noise is surprisingly low. Now remember, these were shot raw and brought into Lightroom using camera set. That's very important when bringing raw images into Lightroom, that you set it to use camera settings. I have seen people complain about Z8 images being noisy. You must bring them into Lightroom using camera settings, and the noise will be much better. Now here we are zoomed in, and again, this is just available room light at 6400. Okay, now I wanted to look at bokeh, and this is at 1.8, and there's some lights in the background, so just notice those lights. Here we are zoomed in at 1.8, and they're pretty round. The bokeh balls are pretty round. So now we go to f2, not a big difference. We start to see a little bit of the shape of the diaphragm, I think here, just a little. Again, this is close up at 2, then we go to 2.8, and then we're going to look at f4. So I think I'm pretty happy with this lens. It's inexpensive right now. Like I said, it's on sale for $176.95. So if you have an APS-C camera, I think this is a nice choice. And when Nikon does come out with a new one, a new APS-C camera, I think, here's a nice high-speed lens that works out really well. Now you can see here at f4, you really start to see the shape of the diaphragm, but I think overall the bokeh on this lens is very nice. Normally I wouldn't use a DX lens on a full frame body, but again, I just wanted to see how this lens would perform on the equivalent of a DX body. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. I always try to respond to all comments and all questions. I usually publish a new video every Monday morning and Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So I will talk to you then.